Okay, so this is my setup for Bullseye Phase II. And so this is kind of my overview. I'm gonna kind of zoom in, carry the camera over. So you're gonna take your track of science and you're gonna elevate it, tape it down. And the one thing you're gonna be doing different from Bullseye Phase I is you're gonna add a loop-de-loop. Now I use my photo gate stand to kind of help prop up my little loop-de-loop. You're gonna put your loop-de-loop at the bottom towards the end of your kind of roller coaster. And then the other thing you've got to be careful with is your track needs to end horizontally, okay? So make sure that whatever the surface is, it's flat, okay? And it's going to leave the edge flat horizontally. It flies off horizontal like a horizontal kinematic problem. And then you're going to tape your measuring tape to the floor. Now the one thing you're going to have to be careful about is that you need to make sure that your measuring tape, that it starts down here directly below, can I get it? I can't get it from that viewpoint. That it needs to start directly below measuring the distance from where it's going to leave the track, okay? I would recommend putting some kind of an object to block the ball from rolling all over the place so you don't lose your ball. And then you need to have your phone that is going to film where the ball lands, okay? So I'm going to zoom out now. Okay, so one thing that you'll want to make sure is you open up your track again. Remember, you don't want the ball to get stuck in your track. I found that in some places I kind of had to like use my tape to help widen my track a little bit so that there wasn't that extra kind of hindrance from, you're definitely going to have friction underneath the ball, and that's what actually causes it to roll, but you don't want there to be friction on the sides. And then the thing that I was trying to kind of explain was that wherever your meter stick, or not your meter stick, but your measuring tape is here, like this distance needs to be exactly below where it leaves. So I kind of had to be mindful that I have this little bit of a lip and then start putting my 0 point right there. So what you'll want to do, by my marble, is you'll want to kind of do a few trial runs to get an idea of where exactly it's going to land so that you can focus your video on that portion of the measuring tape. So you'll want to drop it from the same exact height every time. So I'm going to drop it from here and then watch it roll. It kind of landed around 14. Can do it again. This time it landed about 15. One more time because third time's a charm. And this, oh, I got to 16. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom my camera in to, my range was between like 14 and 16. And you can zoom into that area so that you can know the exact centimeter mark that it's going to hit. I found that it was helpful to video in slow motion so that I could see exactly where it is. So you might try to angle mine down a little bit more. Okay, so here I am. And then you would analyze the data on your phone to see where exactly it landed. And I want you to do this 5 times so you can get an average distance of the delta X value of your projectile, okay? In terms of the other measurements you need to have how far the delta Y, let me see here, the delta Y that it fell. You need to also have the relative height difference between the lowest point of your track and the point where you drop it from. And then I also would like you to measure out what the height of your loop-de-loop is, as well as, and try to make your loop-de-loop as circular as possible, the height of your loop-de-loop so that it's roughly, I could have done a better job of making mine more circular. Your height should be equivalent to your radius, or rather your diameter of your loop. Okay, so those are the only measurements that you need to take. And you're going to do this 5 times. You'll have to measure the distances here once, but then you'll have 5 different delta X values, and then you'll get an average, okay?